You might be thinking that a billman is a tax collector or something like that, but it is in fact a medieval infantry unit, and today's video is the second in our hunt for crafting better infantry for our fantasy worlds. So let's get into it. Hi guys, my name is Jesper and welcome to the Fane of Fantasy. This channel is all about giving you inspiration to master your craft and create fantasy that will truly immerse your audience. So, a billhook was a sort of agricultural or foresting tool used to prune vines, fruit trees and shrubs. It consisted of a heavy blade which twisted into a cruel, sharpened steel hook, which was attached to a wooden handle or sometimes to a long staff for pruning hard-to-reach branches. At some point in the middle or late Middle Ages, someone thought that this was a very magnificent tool and why not put it into use as a weapon? Yeah. Why not, I guess? The billhook evolved into a sinister polearm used by the Vikings and the Anglo-Saxons. It consisted of a hooked chopping blade with several pointed projections mounted on a staff. The end of the cutting blade curved forward to form a hook, which is the bill's most distinguishing characteristic. In addition, the blade almost universally had one pronounced spike straight off the top of it like a spearhead, and also a hook or spike mounted on the reverse side of the blade. I think it's a pretty mean weapon, to be honest. It gave the infantry the same stopping power as if they have used a spear, and also the power of an axe when they swing it. And in addition of the pronounced hook, so if you couldn't slay a horse and its rider with the sheer power of your swing, you could always find something to grab onto and simply drag the cavalry to the ground before finishing them off with a sword or the bill itself. Soldiers using bills were called billmen, and they usually wore chainmail or plate armor. Often they also wore salets, that was a particular form of helmet, which could be open-faced or have a visor. So, to make these men even cooler looking, they often wore colorful tabards over their armor and bright leggings. The high-status soldiers would have big dyed feather plumes on their helmets. So you can imagine how these units were pretty impressive to look at, and not just your kind of mere foot soldiers. I mean, try to imagine standing across the field next to your peasant-like comrade, if we just stay in the misconceptions that we covered in last week's video. And then you saw an army of these men moving towards you with bills. Not really what you want to run into, am I right? In 1513, at the Battle of Flodden, an army of approximately 26,000 English billmen chopped apart a larger army of Scottish pikemen. And in fact, the Scottish king, James IV, was killed right along with his soldiers and was the last monarch of the British Isles to die in glorious battle. I don't know, are you also getting to like the billmen so far? They are for sure much more than your average spearmen, both in efficiency but also in looks. So, well, if you do like this, then make sure to hit the like button below and also share this video with a friend. So, how do we make use of billmen in our fantasy setting? As always, we're not going to copy something directly. That is way too boring and stereotypical. So let's see what we can do instead. How about our billmen still having flamboyant helmets and boots, perhaps in a blood red color? That way we can maintain some of the cool look of the original Billmen, but we strip our version of any armor. Instead they go into battle bare-chested, with a skin that has been magically infused so that it protects them just as well as a chainmail would. You know, try to imagine the look on the opposition's face the first time they lash out against our unit here, and only find the men laughing back in their faces completely unharmed. And we can't forget about the weapon either. That needs to be brimming with electricity, and when our Billmen raises it high in the air, they can conjure lightning into the spike on top of the weapon and then hurl it towards the enemy line. Boring infantry? I think not. We just took that up at least 10 levels of awesomeness. If crafting interesting infantry is something that you are struggling with, then head to the comment section below and get some inspiration from what other people have put down there. And of course, if you have an excellent way of making the most of Billmen or any other type of cool infantry for that matter, then do make sure to leave them in the comment section below so that it can help others in this awesome community of ours. I actually think that we managed to create something pretty memorable there. I don't know, what do you say? So in writing, I have already completed the first few chapters on my book on Twitter for Authors. But I'm also gearing up to start testing dictation. From what I've gathered so far, authors who are experienced with dictating their books claims that it can increase your writing speed with 300%. So that alone makes me want to test it out. We'll see how I fare in the future here. If you want to help keep this channel going, then head on over and join the community on Patreon. For as little as $1 a month, you can help increase the quality of these videos. There is a link right here on the screen somewhere, and also in the description field below. Oh, and if this is your first time here, then do make sure to subscribe for new videos every single week. Stay safe out there, and see you next Monday.